There you go. Thank you very much. Mack, welcome to the show. Hope you've enjoyed it so far in the background. Johnny, who I'm going to move to the top, he's now going to chat away.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for joining us, Mack. How are you?
No, thank you very much.
Good. So, first of all, just talk us through how old you are and what the record is that you're going to hope to beat.
Well, so I'm 16 years old, and I hope to become the youngest person to fly solo around the world.
Fantastic. And so talk us through the airplane you're using. You're not going to use the exact same airframe as your sister, are you? You're using a different one, but same type?
Yes, so I'm also flying a Shark, and like it's also a Shark microlight. It's not the exact same one though, so you can see in the background as that one. We've already put almost all the stickers on it, and so it's quite exciting.
Fab. So have you had much time to actually get to grips with this Shark and fly it?
Yeah, so I've already gone to Slovakia for a few days, and they've like gone through the engine. I've been able to do like circuits and like tell them, and they've been able to tell me in which situation I do what, and so it's been really helpful.
And are you kind of kitting it out in the same way that Zara's was, with cameras and there was a fuel bladder in the back seat, I think, wasn't there?
Yeah, so same as with Zara, we'll be taking out the back seat to replace it with a fuel tank. And we're also going to be putting cameras, and we're actually hoping to be able to do a few live streaming capabilities. It's not going to be high quality or anything, but so that's quite exciting.
Brilliant. So how's that work? Are you going to get some kind of satellite or Starlink or something like that?
Well, yeah, so I have like an Iridium like I'm not quite sure how it works, but there's a thing which then links the cameras to the satellite. And so instead of doing like with Wi-Fi connection or 3G or something, you end up using a satellite connection to transfer films in real time.
That sounds interesting. Something, if it works well, we might have to have a look at the setup and see how that could feature on Flyer, I think.
Yeah.
I can see Ian's cogs are whirring. So talk us through your sort of flying history, because you are young, but how many hours have you got? What types have you flown? When did you get your license?
Well, so in terms of my hours, I'm not quite sure entirely how much I've got logged. I've got quite a few, but I've got huge amounts of hours outside of logbooks, because like my sister, I've been flying basically since I was born, and it's been ramping up in the past 3 years, and I've done 2 transatlantics with my dad to prepare for this. And it's just that I'm doing more and more flying as time goes by, and it's just great.
So what's this picture here? Is this transatlantic, the photo here?
Yes, so this was a transatlantic. I think the sun was quite bright that day. I think this was Greenland. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Greenland. On a day like this, I probably wouldn't be flying because I am flying a microlight. But because I was with my dad in an IFR aircraft, it was fine.
Yeah. So what has he kind of taught you in terms of, getting yourself prepared for the flight? What tips and what advice and what things have you learned from him over these, ferrying trips that you've been doing?
Well, so a lot with the weather, like if I'm much more able to look up at the sky and tell if it's a flying day or not. I remember beforehand, I really had no idea how to tell if the weather was right just by looking outside. But other just general flying things like don't go in cloud or with a microlight and stuff like that. Also very local specific things. So for example, there's a Narsarsuaq in Greenland. There's I think it is Narsarsuaq. You have to go through a valley, and there's a long power cable that goes through it, and so I need to stay on one side of the valley, and so it's very specific thing. But since I'm going to Narsarsuaq, it's going to be quite helpful.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the comment, but David Eads, who runs Easter, says you can get free fuel from Easter if you're traveling that way, which brings up the question actually of the route. So can you just tell us where you're starting, where you're going, and where you should end up? Obviously, you end up at the same place, but
well, first of all, thank you very much for the free fuel. That'll be very nice. But so I'm starting in Sofia in Bulgaria, From there, I'm going south through the Sahara and the Congolese jungle all the way to Madagascar. Then from there, I'm going north again through Iran to Kazakhstan. Now, at the moment, I'm supposed to go through Russia, but with the whole situation there, at the moment we're hoping that things get better and that a solution can be found. But we're already looking for alternatives such as going through Japan. But the problem with that is that it's very complicated because normally Japan doesn't allow microlights at all inside of their country. So you need special permissions and all of those. But for the moment, we're going through Russia, then the US, Mexico, US again, Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Scotland, England, Belgium, Slovakia, and then back to Bulgaria.
Wow.
Yeah. So of all of that, which bit are you looking forward to the most?
Well, so I'm looking forward to. There isn't a single spot that I'm looking forward to the most, but I'm looking forward a lot to things like the Saharan desert, the Congolese jungle, and like the Iranian mountains, which seem like incredible places to go that not many people can see in their lifetimes.
Yeah, brilliant. And so back to the ferrying with your dad. What sort of aircraft types have you been flying in with him?
Well, so for the two ferries, it was an RV-10 and a Cessna. Oh, I can't remember. It's a really rare one. There's only like 100 in the world, but I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, so those were the two ferries. I did my flight training in Belgium with Coyote 2s. Well, I wouldn't be able to do it with that. That would take me about 2 years. Yeah, so those are mostly the airplanes I've been flying.
Yeah. So how are you able to do all of this age 16? What license have you got? What country?
Well, so I've got a French microlight license, which I got when I was 15 and 2 months. So the earliest you can get a French microlight license is 15. And so basically, as soon as I could, I got my license, which was pretty cool. So I've had it for about a year and a half now, and I can't wait to do something crazy with it.
Presumably, just to interrupt, given the sort of microlight licenses is what's known as a sub ICAO license, so not necessarily recognised everywhere. For your trip everywhere, I'm guessing your dad and a whole team of people must have been writing, asking for permission for all sorts of different countries to let you transit through them.
Yeah, so it's always a bit complicated to try and get these special things to get into countries, especially with COVID. But at the moment, it's manageable. You don't normally need visas if you're going through it, and with special conditions. And yeah, to be honest, I'm not quite sure the entire process of it. I'm not very experienced in that area, but I've been trying to help where I can.
When are you 17?
17th of March.
Okay, so fairly soon then.
Yes.
Yeah. And then what I was just going to say, what's the date that you need to be back by to beat the current record?
Well, the current record is Travis Ludlow, who's 18 years old. So in that way, I have lots of time. But I need to get there before the weather starts going bad again. And I also need to keep an eye out for schoolwork, because the longer I take, the more I miss. And so the more I need to catch up.
You'll learn more flying than you will there.
Yeah.
So what's your departure date?
Sorry?
Sorry, and your departure date, when should it be?
17th of March normally. I'm also trying to show that young people can make a difference when I'm doing this trip. So when I'm going around, I'm hoping to find lots of young people around that have done incredible things. It doesn't need to be aviation related, for example, but I just want to show that you don't have to be 18 to do something incredible. You can actually be 16, 17, 15, 14. You don't have to be 18.
Is there anything? I mean, it's probably a silly question to ask a 16-year-old, but is there anything that keeps you awake at night with regards to the upcoming trip this is, or is it just it'll be fine?
Well, I'm quite a good sleep at the moment, actually. So it doesn't nothing that really keeps me awake at night. But I do sometimes get a bit stressed. Like for example, the ocean crossings. They're definitely the some of the more stressful ones because at the moment my longest ocean crossing is 8 hours in a single engine aircraft, which is always a bit stressful. But I'm sure it'll be fine.
Has your sister given you any tips and advice for ocean crossings?
Not specifically for ocean crossings yet, but she's helped me around the. She's already helped me with the general things around the shark. But so she's also going to be part of my ops team, which means that before every flight, she's going to be able to like brief me on like what I might find difficult in the next flight, which might be more which my parents might not be able to do as effectively.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Wedge, great name, says, how does Zara feel about all of this? I guess in a way you were gunning for different records, so it's not competitive as such, is it?
But
No,
you're brother and sister, so you must be a bit competitive.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't actually too much competitiveness because before I like a year or year and a half ago, I knew I wanted to do something incredible in my aviation career, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. But once Zara flew around the world, I knew that this is something I want to do, and so she sort of inspired me in a way to do this journey.
Yeah. Now this was the RV10, was it, across the Atlantic?
Yes, this is the RV10. And I think that's the Faroe Island. No, that's not. Probably Canada.
Canada's a big place, so it covers a lot.
I think with the RV10 we did Iqaluit and Goose Bay. No, yeah. So with the RV10, no. Sorry. So with the RV10 we did Goose Bay, Montreal, and Ottawa. It's starting to come back with me. With the Cessna, I went Iqaluit, Goose Bay, and then Toronto, I think.
You presumably land. There's the little general aviation airport of Toronto. Is a place called Billy Bishop on an island. If that, maybe that's where you'd have gone.
Oh yeah. So that was the starting point actually that was the starting point with the RV10. We started in Billy Bishop, then we went Montreal, then it was Goose Bay, then it was Iqaluit. Sorry, it's I'm jumbling up my whole route at the moment. Then it was Iqaluit, and then it was Nuuk.
Yeah.
Good.
So were your parents been massively supportive of this, or have they gone, we've just had some stressful time with Zara going around the world and now you want to put us through that stress all over again?
It was definitely very difficult at the start. So I really had to push that this was something I wanted to do, because like obviously as parents you always wonder if it's really what I want to do, or if it's because I want to be competitive with my sister. But I definitely wanted to do this. And I made sure my parents knew that this was something I wanted to do.
Did you ever resort to the words, it's not fair?
No, I've actually stopped using that word because every time I used to use it, my dad would always go, life isn't fair, which really annoyed me. And so I've sort of stopped saying it.
Probably a good move. Did I spot a video? Did I spot a video of you doing a bit of a crosswind landing at Henstridge the other day?
Oh yeah. So I was trying to do my flight from I was going to do my flight from Henstridge to Kortrijk in Belgium, and I wanted to do some practice landings first because I hadn't done too much in the Shark yet. But so the wind was quite strong at Henstridge, but not at Kortrijk. So even though that was the case, I wanted to do a few practice landings. It was actually completely fine. It looks like I'm on the edge of my seat when I'm landing there, but I was actually quite relaxed. But it does look quite cool when you're looking from the outside.
I thought you did very well. Having watched it, I think Ian probably did as well.
Yeah, I thought you did really well.
Yeah.
So Richard Kennedy's got a question for you. What's your long-term aviation career ambition other than getting back and taking the world record?
Well, so I know I want to do something like I know I want to carry on my aviation career. I'm not certain what I want to do, but I'm thinking something along the lines of the Royal Air Force or something like that.
So, I guess just talking about personal things. You live in Belgium. Are you kind of like half Belgium, half British? Is that it?
Yes. So my mum is Belgian and my dad is British.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I should have known that, really, shouldn't I? But there you go.
No, it's fine.
Cool.
We've got another comment. Yeah. So some viewers will already know, but Dr. Wedge says, "What do Mummy and Daddy do?" Obviously, your dad has been flying for a long, long time, hasn't he? How did he get into flying?
Well, so I think I'm not quite entirely certain, but I think as soon as he left school, basically he joined the Army Air Corps and went to fly helicopters, and then later, and because you have to fly planes first before you can go into helicopters, later after he left the army, planes was just a natural way because it's cheaper and faster.
Yeah, that's a good advertisement. Cheaper, quicker. And then has your mum got a license as well?
Yes, so she's also been flying for 20 years, I think. And yeah, basically our whole family's been flying. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. So, are you going to keep a diary, a vlog, or something? Are you going to write a book? Is your sister writing a book? Are you going to write a book together? The Earth-rounding siblings or something?
I'm not quite sure. At the moment, I'm not thinking of really writing a book. I'll probably be taking notes after every flight of like how my flight went and all of that, because I think that's quite useful. And it also will help me with my EPQ, because at school I'm doing my EPQ, which basically means I'll be getting a half A level from this. So that's an extra bit of schoolwork in the bag. So that's quite nice. But no, other than that, I don't think I'll be able to have much time to write like a whole like essay every time I land.
Now, Zara was famous for the fact that there was a lot of cockpit miming and dancing going on. Are you planning to emulate your sister's musicality?
I'm not very good at dancing or miming, but I'll be doing lots of videos and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure how much dancing I'll be doing.
You should probably get some lessons from your sister before you go.
Yeah, maybe I'll take some dancing lessons. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, if you leave on March the 17th, assuming that everything goes to plan, you manage to leave in March, and that you find a route around Russia or whatever. When are you hoping to be back?
Well, it should take about 2 to 3 months. So I think I'm starting in March, May, between May and June. But like nothing is steadfast. For example, my sister took 5 months when it was supposed to take about 2 months. But that is because she got stuck in Russia. But the reason I don't think that'll happen to me is because I've chosen a time when the weather is basically perfect. So it's very unlikely for. Hopefully it's unlikely for it to happen.
When we do the live stream with you at Christmas from somewhere in Russia.
I'm not quite sure if I'd be able to get much good internet connection if I were to go to Russia. I'm mostly going to Siberia, so I'm not quite sure, even if I do go into Russia, whether I'll be able to really do anything in terms of press or media. But maybe if it is possible, that would be quite nice to do.
Let's have a look. Have you not missed the trick to cross over? Are you flying west to east and Zara for east to west? Have you not missed the trick to cross over at some point?
Well, apart, Richard, from the fact they'd have to be doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
Zara, just go round, start again.
Yeah.
Maybe, but that would have been quite chaotic for my parents. For example, if I can't think, but if we managed to get into the exact wrong time zones, they could be staying up all night for every night. So And also like I guess it would be technically possible, but it's a bit too much stress, even for both of us, even for the people flying. So yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Right, have we got any other questions in the comments?
There's a little comment here from David Eads.
Yeah.
3 months from March 17 equals summer solstice flying at Easter. So if you're around
Time that perfectly.
northern Scotland at that time, pop in.
Fill your tanks up for free.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm just going to pop this in here just so that people don't think I'm hiding it. Darren says Ian can do dancing lessons. There is documentary evidence, and it's only because I was very drunk at the time at the Aviators Ball. Okay.
Good stuff. Yeah. Do we think there's any chance of not formation around the world, but formation flying a photo opportunity in the future for you two?
Well, yeah. So I'm sure at some point we'll probably be doing like where both me and my sister fly at information somewhere. But at the moment we need to be focusing more on the actual journey than something like that.
Yeah.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Good. Right. Well, thanks for joining us, Mack. It's been good talking to you, and we'll liaise with your dad and the team and get you on again at some point where you've got good internet, and we can chat about the journey.
Thank you very much.
Most of all, best of luck, and hope it all gets going and you get everything sorted, and just set that record.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Right.
Time for Fantasy Hangar.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks, Mack. Bye-bye.
Bye.